Hi. Coaching isn't always about business, but I do mainly deal with business people, as was the case here. This situation could have been a bit tricky, as you'll see, but the key to getting the relationship working was to gain Claire's trust and then to develop a relaxed rapport. Claire was a successful business executive, divorced, with 2 teenage children, and she'd recently been left by her partner, who resented being asked to share the household chores. She was introduced to me by a mutual friend, but she was pretty reluctant to start with. She said, "Sue says you're an excellent coach, but to be honest, I'm off men at the moment." So my first job was to separate the personal from the key issues, and I quickly reassured her. I said, "Look, I can understand your feelings, but my job is not to replace your partner, but I think I can help you address your current situation and find a way through this current overwhelming problem you've got. What do you want to achieve right now and let's say in the next 6 months?" Well, she just launched straight in. "I'm buried under problems. My waste disposal's broken, my car needs fixing, my lawnmower doesn't work, my laptop's playing up, my house needs pointing and painting. I just don't know where to start." So I said, "Well, I think I can help you with those immediate problems. Once they're sorted out, where would you like to be in 6 months?" She said, "Well, my social life revolved around my ex. So once I get out of this mess, I'd like to find another man friend. I don't think you're going to help me with that." I said, "Well, okay, let's concentrate on the immediate issues. We can worry about the future later." So she said, "Well, if you think you can help." I said, "Let's come back to your list. Can you just run through them again for me, please?" So she went through all her problems, and I confirmed that solving these was her immediate goal. I then got her to think about how wonderful it would be to have everything fixed. And we then started to move forward, and she was now in a much more positive mood once we'd had a look at what it would be like when it was all over. Most of the jobs weren't within her capabilities, and she had very little money. Her ex-husband's help was minimal, and her ex-partner wasn't contributing at all, of course. And although her children sounded very nice, they were teenagers. In other words, they were a cost rather than an income generator. So we started to look at their options for the immediate future. This was very productive, actually. She was just overwhelmed, and there were several possibilities. Her next-door neighbour was a retired engineer, and he'd offered to help. But she dismissed this because of her anti-men stance. So I said, "What did he offer to do?" She said he didn't specify. He just said he'd be happy to help me without charging me anything. But I can't go back now after I was a bit offhand with him last week. So I said, "Why not? What's to stop you talking to him again? He obviously was keen to be helpful." She said, "I'm being stupid, aren't I? I could apologise and ask him for help." So I said, "Well, I think your reaction was understandable in the circumstances, but he's hopefully mature enough to overlook that. What do you think he could help you with?" She said, "Well, he's not a car or a computer expert, but he said he could do some pointing and painting and also look at my waste disposal unit." Once we got talking about these issues, she mentioned a work colleague who maintains his own car, and another one who's a bit of a whiz with IT. And she realised that all she had to do was ask, and she could probably get lots of help from her friends at work. So she said she would do that in the following week. The main point here is I wasn't suggesting these things, but simply encouraging her to step back and go through them one at a time. This is often all that's needed to clear a mental logjam like this. Obviously, some clients will need more input, but my starting position is always that clients will have all, or at least most of the answers within themselves. Well, the upshot was that her neighbour fixed her waste disposal and her mower, and he agreed he would do the pointing and help with the painting if she'd just buy the materials. He was obviously bored. Her work colleagues helped her sort out the car and her laptop. And all of this happened within the following 3 weeks, with her sending me weekly email updates. Her 4th email said, "You've changed my life." I pointed out she'd changed her own life. All I'd done was help her focus on the route. So after a wrap-up session, our 4th session, that's all it took, I offered to introduce Claire to a female coach to help her find a new partner. Anyway, she said she now felt comfortable working with me, and so we set a new goal for her: find another partner before Christmas. So my careful approach preempted any concerns she might have felt about using me in such a sensitive situation. And she found her new partner in good time, and all seems to be well. So check out my website to see whether I could help you resolve some personal issues or business issues. You'll find me at www.brianthomascoaching.com. Thanks very much for listening. Bye.